Second husband was not so supportive.
In public, everybody was like, oh, we have been praying for Holly to find somebody like you. And behind closed doors, I was stupid. I was not smart. I was not intelligent.
It's toxic, it's abusive.
I was all of the above. With both of my husbands, I got every form of abuse. How the heck did I reason in my mind that it was okay when he threw a plate of food at me? They need to go into therapy, figure out what is going on deep down in here so they stop projecting onto you.
Because they cannot hear. How did it make you stronger? What did you learn from it moving forward, making different decisions, especially in partners?
That is the biggest red flag I have learned. If they are beaming straight for you, no. Take a step back.
Yeah.
Let's get down to business.
Hey everybody, welcome to Prosperity Podcast. I'm your host, Candace Barr, and I know I say it every show, but it's true every single show. I have the best guests. We typically interview entrepreneurs, celebrities, people I feel you need to know about. I love hearing a good story and journey, which is why I had to have Miss Holly on with us. Welcome to Prosperity Podcast, Holly.
Thank you, Candace.
So let's start from the beginning, how we met. So we met, first of all, you just did my photos, which was on the cover of Brains magazine, which you did a great job. Amazing photographer. We did it in this room, actually.
We very much did.
Made me feel so comfortable. It was so quick, so professional. Loved it. Good. And you're doing our photos for my magazine for a special we're doing for my magazine next month, which we're so excited about. But you and I met in an Uber. Yeah. Which I have to tell you, I have met a lot of prominent people in my life in an Uber. So Uber has been very good to me.
Wow.
Yeah. And so, do you remember the conversation? Because when we first met?
Let's do it.
So you picked me up and you were just lovely. I remember you just had a great energy and you were just lovely. And you were I think you were hey girl, and we were just talking. You dropped me off at Hutworks.
Yes.
And we just hit it off and we switched numbers and we went, I think, for a meeting a few weeks later. And you were going through some stuff that you shared, and we're going to get into it.
Yes.
But I want to let everyone know what you do, who you are, where you're from, everything about you before we get into the nitty-gritty of the other stuff.
Okay.
So where are you from?
I am actually a native of Arizona.
Hard to find.
I know. I was born in a really small town here called Paradise Valley and spent most of my life, my adult life, in North Scottsdale. That's where I raised my children, North Scottsdale, Cave Creek, Arizona, and just have never really left. Why? I mean, it's beautiful here.
And Paradise Valley, not a bad area.
No.
Yeah.
No, one day, bucket list, I will end up there. Start my life there. I would love to end my life there.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And I thought it was interesting when I met you because I know you and I think your family come from a background of horses, if I remember correctly.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So my first ex-husband, oh my gosh, I never thought in a million years I'd ever say an ex-husband in the first place, let alone my first ex-husband.
I always say you have to have at least one.
Right?
At least one.
But yeah, my first ex-husband, he was born and raised in the Arabian horse industry. He showed ever since he was a little child. His parents were really big breeders up in the Utah area. And I met him right after him serving a mission for our church, and we got married, and I wanted nothing to do with animals, let alone horses. I grew up, we never even had a dog, Candace. So what the heck are these Arabian horses, these 1,000-pound plus animals, and Holly? They don't go together. They didn't go together. But yeah, he just was down here actually working with his sister, who was a big-time performance trainer in Scottsdale. And that's how we met. And as our relationship bloomed and the twists and turns of life, ended up in the Arabian horse industry.
So I know you're in photography, obviously, as we said earlier. And so I want to know, how did you get into that? It's such a creative space. And some people, when they're in a creative space, they have a hard time making a business out of it. How did you do that?
Luck, stars. I honestly believe that God blessed me with that in a way. So it's definitely a talent that I accredit to him. But I grew up, my father is one of the most incredible artists you'll ever meet in your life of every medium. Drawing, painting, photography. I grew up outside of our in-home darkroom in Paradise Valley. To this day, I can still remember the smell of those chemicals. They're imprinted in my mind. And I just always carried around a camera. I just always loved, I had to capture everything. I wanted to document everything. And it's funny because I'm not in hardly any photos because I'm always the person holding the camera.
Right.
When I was 8 years old, though, I was very, very shy to the point of where I would hide behind the couch or run to my room anytime we had company. So my mother got me into modeling. So for 10 years of my life, from 8, well, actually longer than 10 years, 8 to 18, I modeled a lot. I did a lot of print work, a lot of stuff like that was in front of the camera, really learned how to be on the front of the camera, but always loved the camera itself. So one day when I had 2 little kids on my hip and on this huge Arabian horse ranch that we had in North Scottsdale, I just decided to pack around my camera when we had a professional Arabian horse photographer in town to do some horses.
Okay.
And I asked politely, I said, hey, do you mind if I just, kind of just shoot and do my own thing? He looked at me and kind of scoffed and he was like, yeah, lady, like no worries, no jealousy, no nothing, like not even worried about it. He goes, yeah, sure, I don't care. Well, the clients liked my little point and shoot photos more than the professional photographer and wanted to use mine for their advertising. The rest is history. The next day, my husband and I at the time went down to the store. I bought my very first professional camera and the rest is history. I taught myself. Everything is self-learned, self-taught.
I fully believe, especially with the creative space, like you either have to have an eye for something or you don't. A lot of things can't be taught.
Yes.
Especially, like I said, in the creative space, especially with photography. Like you're either really good or you're not.
It's all about composition. And if your eye just has it, and I just remember so many people telling me, wow, your composition is amazing. Candace, I didn't even know what composition
You're like,
meant.
thank you.
I'm like, yeah, thanks, you guys. Like, okay. And I'm like, what is this composition that everybody's talking
Google
about?
that.
I know, Dad, what is everybody? But yeah, so you either have it or you don't. And like I said, that's why I credit it to God because it's just a gift from God.
Yeah.
So,
and I know that it's like a creative family because your daughter is a tattoo artist. She actually did my tattoo.
I love it.
Yeah, really creative family.
Yeah, and again, my dad, we just got the incredible gene from my father, but we've always been entrepreneurs, owned our own businesses. That's what was passed down and taught to us, and definitely on the creative side of things. So
I love asking people this because I interview a lot of entrepreneurs, and they're in totally different industries. And I'd love you to share a win at any point in your entrepreneurship that you're like, yeah, proud of yourself, excited. And then on the opposite side of that, entrepreneurship is not for the weak. It's not for everybody. And I said earlier, we were filming something else. Just because someone doesn't want to work for someone doesn't make them an entrepreneur.
correct.
So can you share a win that you remember at any point? And then also, I like to call them learning lessons.
Oh boy. I would say probably the biggest win for me was getting the phone call from the whole entire industry of Arabian horses in Australia, asking me to fly over the big ocean to go photograph their top Arabian horses. And it was me. It wasn't, oh, hey, Gary, can you and Holly come and can you do something with the horses? Oh, and can Holly do some photography? No, it was like, wait, Gary, you can come
Whoever
if you
Gary
want.
is,
Yeah.
like, we want Holly.
I probably shouldn't even mention his name. Is that okay for me to even mention his name? I mean, shoot, if anybody Googled me, they'd find it all. It's all on the internet anyway.
We want Holly. We want Holly.
But yeah, they were like, we want Holly. And from that, there were even Arabian horse breeders in New Zealand who were like, you know what? If she's coming to Australia, so Melbourne, Perth, and then they're like, if she's gonna fly there, can she come to New Zealand? And let me tell you, I have never in my life been to a country more majestically beautiful than New Zealand. There is something as an artist and a creative in the color of that country that is mind-blowing. So that was huge. That is something I'll never forget.
I do want to, let's talk about this because I have this conversation often off camera. I have always said travel for entrepreneurs is imperative because it opens our mind. We need that creative openness. We need that flow. And when you're in a structured environment, that flow gets cut off.
Absolutely.
And you can never come back the same. I don't care if you went to the next state over and came back. You can't come back the same.
You can't. That actually just gave me the chills that you said that. And it does. It opens up the segue in your mind that nothing else will ever even touch remotely.
Yeah.
And it's interesting that you say that because I remember after I got divorced, I thought, it's okay. I've lived this big life. Mind you, I was 35 years old at the time. I've lived this big life. I have dined with celebrity. I have celebrity who are my friends, royalty, all of the things that the Arabian horse industry brought into my life.
Yeah.
I'm okay. I have photographed in the most beautiful places, the most beautiful Arabian horse. I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm okay to sit out the rest of my life. And it's just been the last year, I'm not okay.
Yeah.
I need that open. I need that to stay open. I
Absolutely.
need to reignite that somehow.
Absolutely.
How do I get that reignited? So just very interesting that you
It
said
really
that.
does. I mean, I understand because, we can get stagnant. We can get stuck in our own space. It's hilarious, 35 years old. You're like, oh, I've done it all. And, a lot of people have those thoughts. It's not, it's like, oh, I've done everything.
And I felt like, you know what? So many people haven't left their neighborhood. And here at 35 years old, I have traveled the world, experienced things that most people can only read about or see in movies. And yet that was my life.
Yeah.
And it's like, I'm good. I'll take the blessings. I'll be grateful. And it's like, no, I think there's
so much more.
I think there's more. I think
Also,
God has
too,
more.
you can travel to the same place. I mean, I don't know if you went with a husband or boyfriend or whoever. It's totally different traveling by yourself.
Absolutely.
Because you're on your own time frame. You don't have to worry about anyone else's emotions, thoughts, and feelings or their schedule.
Yeah.
It's just, and different times in life is going to be a different experience for sure. So, big advocate of traveling. As I've always said this to females too. I think I travel often by myself. I've done a lot. I've went outside the country several times by myself. I've done cruises by myself. And I think females should absolutely travel by themselves because one, it's not scary if you have your wits about you. Like I think a lot of Americans travel. And when we travel, I don't know why they do this. They're just like, they think, example, like they're in Paris. So it's like Emily in Paris. And like, you don't understand it's still a city. It's a major city and things still happen there.
Yeah. You have to be careful.
Yes.
But to that point, I remember traveling alone and I was in France and I needed to take the train. I don't speak French. I don't read French. I can say the basic things to get me a bathroom or to say, please,
Get like a
thank you.
baguette or
Is
something.
this in my size? Can you get this in my size? But I remember I got on a train and I got off on the wrong spot.
Okay.
And I was in the middle of nowhere. Like, where am I? Who do I call? What do I do? Now, I know a lot of people, so I know if I got into serious trouble, I could just open my phone and somebody would save me. But at the same time, we limit ourselves because people are like, you're a woman. You need to be careful. You shouldn't be doing that. Are you sure you know what you're doing? But because I got off on that wrong train spot, I had the funnest, most out of the blue afternoon
Great
that
point.
I would have never have had in
Great
a million
point.
years, seen things I would have never have seen. And I'm just like, yeah, go me.
I'm
Go me
fi-
for
I'm
doing
fine.
I'm okay.
Yeah.
I can do this. You can do this. Don't be scared.
Yeah.
And the world tries to shut us down. You don't want to travel here. It's too scary. You don't want to do this. There's unrest. You don't. No, you do.
Yeah.
You do. This world is big. People are generally good and they
Yes.
want to help you. And you have it and you owe it to yourself to inspect and dissect every
Yes.
piece of the world in your
Yes.
life that you can.
And you'll never, example what you're just saying, you'll never forget those memories.
Exactly.
You couldn't have planned it better if
No.
you tried.
No.
And you miss out on the magic of life when you keep things small.
Exactly.
That's a great point.
Push through the anxiety. When you feel that anxiety come,
it.
people let themselves just get stuck and paralyzed. don't push through it, because I promise you're going to have the most amazing adventures if you do.
I love that. And so you mentioned you have children.
Yes.
So you're a mom. You'll always be a mom.
I'm a grandma.
You're a grandma now, and you're back into photography.
Yes.
Like I said, you did my photos, which were amazing.
Thank you.
And we will have you again for sure,
Thank you.
several times over. But I want to talk about personal now.
Okay.
So we have both been through a few divorces. I think 4 between us.
Wow.
And I'm not done yet.
Go us.
Elizabeth Taylor. Let's talk about being married as a female and having your own company and your children, and kind of, I don't even believe in the word balance, managing or trying to manage all of that going on.
Yeah.
How was that for you?
It was the most exhausting, uplifting, scary, joyful, all the feels of my entire life, and I wouldn't have had it any other way. Despite all the twists and turns of the roller coaster circus that life is and marriage is, loved it.
How is it building a company, having a company, running a business, and not having a supportive husband?
Luckily for me in that marriage, I did have a supportive husband. He was very supportive. It was a very symbiotic good, but it was hard at the same time. And what was the hardest part was the, mommy, do you really have to go to Australia again this year during my birthday? You missed my birthday the last 2 years. Do you really need to go?
Yeah.
That's what was hard. But the thing for me is, and the amazing piece of the business that we built, it was very family oriented.
Yeah.
My children got to travel the world with us. They got to see the things. And I remembered the school calling me in and saying, we're going to have to kick you out. You know, we're going to have to do this. We're going to have to do that if your kids miss any more schooling. I'm like, are you serious? Are you kidding me right now?
They're getting the best education with me seeing the world.
And not only, that's exactly right. And not only that, but they're not reading about it in a book.
Right.
My son got to show at the South African Arabian Horse Nationals and live in South Africa for 2.5 weeks,
Wow.
do a safari, see all the things, do all the things, and see their culture. And you can't replicate that anywhere else.
Experiences are everything. I love that. Second husband was not so supportive.
Yeah, he acted supportive, but it was all smoke and mirrors.
Yeah, not the reality of it all.
So jealous, could not stand it. Was my biggest supporter in public, because he knew that when he would come to any of the Arabian horse shows or anything like that with me, because he wanted horses. He always dreamed of horses. And so we did. My son got us back into the Arabian horses. And in public, he was
Lovely.
oh my goodness.
Best person in the world.
Everybody was eating
Yep.
out of his hand. Everybody was like, oh, we have been praying for Holly to find somebody like you. And behind closed doors, I was stupid. I was not smart. I was not intelligent. I was this. I was that. I was belittled. I was gaslit. All the things behind closed doors. So yeah, it was very hard
Toxic.
to understand, because
Toxic.
yes, very much so.
Hurtful, toxic.
Yeah.
And we were talking earlier, when you're female in business and, you're looked at it a certain way, and then yet you have a personal life that's totally different than public persona. People do not understand that. And I'd rather it didn't happen or it doesn't happen, but it does show you how strong, not that you have to go through that to test that strength, but it does show you how strong we are and what we can do in our resilience. And also, too, it does take a lot of strength to walk away from things when it's not serving and it's not healthy and it doesn't work.
Yeah, and I think that he used that against me for my first marriage, because my first husband was a really big traditional narcissist. He was a narcissist. He had a secret life of 18 years that I knew nothing about. It all just crumbled down around me overnight. I tried for a couple of years to work through that with him, go to addiction recovery with him, see if he could work things out. He couldn't stop. I'm out. I got to save myself. I got to protect myself. It was all about protecting my children and protecting my soul.
Right.
4.5 years later, after just being concerned of finding that again and all of that, I thought I found my knight in shining armor. And what I didn't realize is he was mirroring and learning everything that he could about me in my past life and to set himself up to stage himself as being my knight in shining armor. And I thought I hit the
jackpot.
lottery.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. He was tall, dark, and handsome. He was an Iron Man. He love bombed me like nobody's business. He knew what I needed 3 steps ahead of me even knowing it. So when I realized and acknowledged I needed something, it was there. It was there.
This guy's perfect.
Absolutely perfect.
Where have you been all my life?
Exactly. Exactly. And yeah, 3 months in, he came home from a work trip and looked at me and said, after ignoring me for 3 days, which I was like, where's this attitude coming from? I don't understand this personality. This is not this. I've never seen this before. What's happening? What's going on? Ignored me for 3 days, was super passive aggressive. I finally had to corner him and be like, what is going on? I can't live like this. Yeah. I'm a happy person. I'm a confident person. I'm a go-getter. I'm a doer. And it's a black cloud. I can't live in a black cloud. I need light. I need the light. Where's the light? Marrying you and bringing your 2 children into my home was the biggest mistake of my life. To this day, he will not acknowledge he said that to me, that I made that up.
And actually, that was probably his truth.
Oh,
that's probably the one time he was
truthful.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because we were
so hurtful.
We were in his home. We changed his dynamic, and I honestly think when he was on his work trip, he probably participated in some not right, things, and came home, and the shame and the guilt
1 million.
and threw that up all over me.
1 million.
And I just was holding on to this hope of, if I can pull him back out of this and pull back around, that's just a one-off. Candace, it's just a one-off. Like, that's not really who he is. I just need to give him some grace. I need to be patient. I need to just love him, and it's going to be okay.
Right.
It's all going to come back around.
Right.
I learned
Never did.
that this was a 4 to 6 month cycle with him.
Wow.
And I got treated like that every 4 to 6 months for nearly 9 years of my life, because you can come up with a gazillion reasons to hold on to hope.
Yep.
A gazillion reasons.
Yeah.
And you hold on to that hope because you just want that person they were those first 8 months of your relationship. They're gonna come back to that. They're gonna be that person. So I'm gonna put up with the Dr. Jekyll so I can get Mr. Hyde back.
Right.
And then you finally wake up one day and you're like, I'm turning 50 this year. There's no way I'm not living the second half of my life this way. Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm done. I got out with the first marriage. I can absolutely get out with the second marriage.
And I know what you're talking about, because my first husband, super narcissist, didn't know that word at the time. I was like in my early 20s. So I would say very naive to what I know now. Had a boyfriend, also super, super narcissist. And I hate using that word because it's overused nowadays. Yeah. But it's a true story.
You want to know what, though? I don't really believe it's really overused. I think we're finally understanding and becoming aware, and we have a word for it. Exactly. So, yeah, it may sound overused or faux potty to say, like, you shouldn't use the word narcissist anymore. Yes, I should.
I'm going to use the word, in my experience, hyper-narcissist. Hyper-narcissist, because you're right. There wasn't words to experience. There wasn't words to what was going on. And I'm sure like women way before us going through the same stuff couldn't pinpoint actions and things because there wasn't words to it. That's just like we have words for different diseases and issues, like mental illness stuff that they didn't have before. You couldn't pinpoint things. You were just thrown in an insane asylum. So you're right. And it's toxic. It's abusive.
Extremely. It's the most abusive.
1,000,000%. Energetically abusive, emotionally abusive, absolutely can be physically abusive, all the abuses. You're going to get it all.
I was D, all of the above with both of my husbands. I got every form of abuse. And I feel like I am a super confident, successful woman. How the heck did I reason in my mind that it was okay when he threw a plate of food at me, when he flipped me out of a mattress, when he grabbed me by the arm and threw me out the front door because I didn't give him money because he had lost his 4th job and was out of work for 8 months, came to me for some money, and I'm just like,
Finally put your foot down.
and I'm driving Uber, Candace. I'm driving Uber to help try and refigure out my life to make money. And it's like, you're sitting at home doing nothing. You're going to grab me by my arm, throw me out the front door because I'm out here killing it, trying to pay my bills.
Right.
And you're doing nothing to pay yours, but you're wanting to come after me and throw me out the front door and kick me out of my own home.
It's so crazy you're saying this because I was watching something on narcissism today and someone was telling a story very similar to this. And he expected her to do XYZ 1, 2, 3. And he didn't work. She went to work. And I'm like, who the fuck do you think you are?
Yeah. You know, and it's actually super common for narcissists to go after and to choose us strong women. And it's because they know we're used to problem solving, we're used to fixing, we're used to making everything happen.
Yes.
We bring in the bank account, we bring in all the things. Everybody loves us because we're just good, happy, genuine people.
Yes.
And they want that. They've got such a deep void in them that nothing they do will ever fill them because they have such deep trauma that they refuse to fix in themselves and to get therapy, that they go and they capture who they want to be so badly, and then they piece by piece by piece try to dismantle us.
1,000,000%. They love a good glow. They love a shining spirit. They love it because they want it.
Because they're devoid of it.
1,000,000. And it's been, what I've noticed is I find, not only with my experiences, but with other people I know that are absolutely narcissists, men. I don't know a lot of narcissistic females, actually. I know a couple, but not a lot.
Yeah.
Men, I find them to be, they can have I'm going to say almost a homosexual side that they're not willing to look at. They want to be you. They want to be you.
You know,
If you think about it.
I need to be very careful of my wording here. Because allegedly, we've got to be really careful. Allegedly, there were absolutely
Things going on, possibly.
yes on that in that realm. And honestly, there was one point in my first marriage where out of the blue, I had this feeling: is he gay? Is he gay? Does he do all of these things? Does he get on Craigslist to find his prostitutes? Does he go to the gentlemen's clubs, the massage parlors? Does he watch porn uncontrollably because he's trying to force his mind into being straight? Because there's something else going on there that I don't know about. And usually, and I want to be very sensitive about this because it's very sensitive. A lot of the times, this all stems from childhood and something inappropriate happening to them. And this can open up a whole different conversation, a whole different podcast. So I want to be really careful about that. But usually there is a reason that starts it. And Ted Bundy is one of the famous,
Sociopaths.
and it all started from porn.
Yeah.
It all started from porn. And there is just this checklist, this evolution of sorts of what happens to your mind when this happens. And I remembered sitting with my therapist for my first husband, and he's like, Holly, I have never in my life, and I counsel with thousands of couples and addicts. I have never in my life met anybody like you. How you can compartmentalize. Most people would be checked into a mental institution by now with everything that you have gone through, that this man has put you through. He goes, you literally are married to a narcissistic pathological psychopath. And you are sitting here laughing and smiling and happy and trying to help figure out how you can make your marriage work.
Yeah.
That's not normal.
Someone
That's not
told me
normal.
once, which is very true. I've yet to run across it. Doesn't mean it doesn't exist. I've never, but this person told me this, who is a therapist. He said, you know how narcissists go to therapy? And I said, how? He goes, their partner goes to therapy. They never go to therapy.
And you know what they're learning about that? It is classic for a narcissistic spouse to say, we need marriage therapy because you need to own your part. You need to take your responsibility. We need marriage therapy. Do you know that they are now finding out that if you're in a narcissistic relationship, marriage therapy is one of the most abusive forms of therapy you can ever do? You are not supposed to go into marriage counseling with a narcissist. They need to go into therapy, figure out what is going on deep down in here so they
won't go.
stop projecting
They won't
onto
go
you.
because they cannot hear.
Yeah. There are some self-aware narcissists, okay? There are some people out there that are self-aware narcissists, but they've got to be willing. Admittance is what, Candace? The first step, right? So, but yeah, they're learning that that is absolutely the worst thing you can ever do to the
interesting.
spouse that is receiving that abuse.
Interesting.
Because you will never win. And suicide, all kinds of things are stemming from that that are very, very, very negative. And I found that shocking when I started to learn that and to kind of deep dive down into that. So if you're in a narcissistic relationship, do not go into marriage or couples counseling with your abuser. You will forever be the problem. You will never get anywhere. It will make things worse.
What is the saying? The thing that hurt will not be the thing that heals. Yes. Like you're looking to this person to help you heal. It's not going to happen.
And with a narcissist, that's one of the main issues that we struggle with as the abused, right? It's that cognitive dissonance. How can that person who loves us be hurting us so badly? It doesn't make it make sense, Candace. Make it make sense. It doesn't, and it never will.
Not going to.
We'll sit there and we'll think about it and ruminate over and over and over again till we're blue in the face for it to make sense, and it can't.
It's not going to.
Your closure is getting out
It's a game.
and knowing you'll never get
You
it.
will never win.
Never.
You will not
Never.
win this. Get out of
The
step
way
out, tap
the
out.
way you win it is complete
Yes.
and absolute disconnect.
Tap out.
Block everything. They hoover you. If you have blocked them off your social media or anything like that, their friends are in your social media. Block everybody. Their friends, any family, anything that can come in and see what you're doing so that they can feed the supply that they look at you for being through them to get that back to them. Block it. Delete all the photos. Delete all the video. I think I deleted 3,700 photos and videos
Wow.
over 9 years of that
Wow.
marriage. And I had to because I loved him. A piece of me will always love him. I will always love that guy that he was those first 9 months because that's my perfect person.
Yeah.
Why is that my perfect person? Because he studied me and knew what I needed to be my
They
perfect
really-
person.
They study you and it's almost like, oh, someone's really paying attention.
Yeah.
But no,
Yeah.
that's not what it's for at all.
No.
So coming out of all that, and congrats coming out of those situations because it's very difficult, especially with children. What did you learn? What did you learn? Like moving forward, if you decide to date again or be with someone else again, like, okay, now that I learned those lessons of all that, how did it make you stronger? What did you learn from it moving forward, making different decisions, especially in partners?
That's such a good question because it took me 2 marriages to a now, mind you, there are different forms of narcissism. So I didn't realize the second one was a narcissist. He's more covert, and the first one,
I know exactly what you're talking
yeah.
about.
So you think, no, they're not a narcissist.
It looks nothing like my first one.
My goodness, there's different forms of narcissism. For me, and I think this is generally true of the majority of all different forms of narcissism, be very leery and conscientious
Yes.
of the men that try to corner you too fast, too quickly.
Yes. Yes.
That is the biggest red flag I have learned. If they are beaming straight for you and they want to get wrapped up all in your business and all in your knowledge and
Yes.
all in your feels,
Yes.
no. Take a step back.
Yeah.
That is not
Because
good.
those actions, I know it can really feed our ego.
Yes.
Right? Especially if someone's lonely.
Yeah.
And they've been single for a bit. It's like, oh my God, someone finally is interested in me, someone loves me. No, learn from before.
Yeah.
Look at things as if you're not in it. You have to look at it like from a third party point of view.
Exactly. And another thing that I was kind of doing some reading the other day, and this really stood out to me as well. And I was just like, yes, this is so true. We live in such an instantaneous, glamour-filled, glorified, keeping up with the Joneses life that we forget that true, real, eternal love is slow. And it's built precept upon precept, line upon line, slowly. You become friends with that person. Then you're like, oh, I really like hanging out with this person. Then the next thing you know, you're sharing everything with this person. And then you sit back and you think, oh my goodness, that's my best friend.
Right.
And it grows. Love grows. Like if you're wanting a marriage, like a legit, concrete, stable, steady, good for your soul, we're going all the yards to the touchdown line. You truly want to marry your best friend. And that takes time because it takes time for things to unravel, for you to learn, do I really want to deal with that? Do I not want to deal with that?
Right.
And you can't just figure that out in 1 month, 2 months, 3 months. It takes time. And another thing is when you're dating, oh, I don't like him. I'm not going to see him again because I didn't like the shoes he was wearing. Or I didn't like the blazer he was wearing. Or I didn't like this or I didn't like that. Where you're cutting yourself off at your knees. That literally could be the person you are looking for. But because we live in such an instantaneous, oh my gosh, did you see that guy? Or did you see that girl? And if one thing is off-putting, then it's nope. You're checked off.
Or
you're checked off.
On top of that, when you do see red flags, do not ignore them.
And that's what I did wrong. And I will own my part in that. In my second marriage, I met up with him and we went to a bar. I don't drink. I don't do any of these things. But he wrote country music. He loved music. Okay, let's meet up at a bar. Christian man, had a drink. And I looked at him and I go, automatically, he's going to be a great wingman. I can go dancing with this guy. I love to country dance. I can go dancing with this guy. I can have fun with this guy, but this is not the guy that I want to be married to. And I told him that. I told him that when he called me just to check back in a couple days later. The next thing I knew, he no longer drank. He was full-fledged back into the church. He was all this, that, and whatever. And I did not realize that I just got bamboozled. So pay attention to that stuff. If there is something that you know that you don't stand for or that doesn't sit well with you or that you don't live your life that way, and they show you that they already are living their life like that, believe them because that is who they are. That is what they like to do. There's nothing wrong with going. I'm not saying, Candace, don't go out and have a couple of drinks with your girlfriends. I don't do that. But I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with that.
Right.
But if you are this person and you're trying to live your life this way, and you're dating somebody or thinking about potentially dating or getting into a relationship with somebody, and they're showing you that they're doing this, believe them because
Believe them.
nobody changes overnight.
Right. It's interesting how we make people in our minds. So you have to look at reality what they're showing you, as you're saying, and not what you hope it to be.
Yeah.
Because again, hope, we can waste a lot of time with hope.
Oh, gazillion.
I'm not saying don't hope.
Gazillion different ways. Hope is so necessary in all things. It keeps us moving forward, right? I truly think one of the other big things from this divorce, from my first divorce, is I was like dating right away after my first marriage. I've been divorced for 7 months now.
Yeah.
And I have yet to even gotten
Probably the
into a
happiest you've been in
religion.
a long time.
I mean, there's definitely happiness in some ways that I didn't have, but there's also sadness too. And don't feel bad for sitting there thinking, oh my goodness, I cried myself to sleep every single night because of X, Y, and Z in my marriage. Okay, we all have our X, Y's, and Z's that make us sad and why we
You're
know we
allowed
need
to
to
be
get
sad.
out. Yes,
You're allowed to have emotions.
yes. And after the divorce, and yes, you're in a better place and you are actually in a place where you can start bettering your life and making the decisions that you need to do to pull yourself back together and be who you want to be.
Right.
But you're still crying yourself to sleep every night. But for A, B, and C reasons.
Well, you're really mourning.
And give yourself grace.
You're mourning a death of something.
Absolutely.
And you're mourning a lot of things. You're probably mourning, like, what's wrong with me that I picked this
Yes.
person a few times? You're not the only it happens to a lot of people. There's a lot of thoughts, questions, ideas that you're just, it can be heartbreaking. And you're allowed to have those feelings and you're allowed to be in that space as long as you want to be in that space.
I had a conversation with one of my girlfriends who kind of went through and is going through the same thing as me. And she's like, I'm sick of crying. I don't want to cry anymore about it. And I said, listen, I get that. I understand, but at the same time, if you don't cry it out when the moments come, you're going to get sick. I got diagnosed with cervical cancer 2 months after my first divorce, okay? Because I could compartmentalize everything, I wasn't really taking care of myself and letting myself feel and understand. I got really sick. So I'm telling this friend of mine, you need to feel it. And my biggest advice is I love a bubble bath. I love me a good bubble bath. Give me the candles, give me everything.
Give me a brownie, we're good.
Yeah, exactly. Give me a big brownie, maybe 2, and it's okay. But sit in that bubble bath, freaking cry your eyeballs out.
The body has to release.
It has to release. But the key is, and this is an important key, you lift that drain, you let that dirty, scummy water go down that drain, and when that water is gone, wash your face, girl.
Yeah.
Wash your face, go to bed, put on a rom-com, whatever, but you wake up in the morning and you splash that water back on your face and put a smile on your face, push those sleeves up, dust off, and move on.
Keep it going.
But when it comes in, it hits you again, which it will. Like, grief is, it's not linear. Like, it goes all over the place. When that grief hits, make yourself that bubble bath again, girl. Cry it out, lift up the drain.
Also, you have to remember, if someone's in a relationship for 5 years, 10 years, everyone says it's not going to feel better a month after breaking up with this person. It's going to take some time.
Yeah.
Because a lot of abuse went on, and probably more abuse than you realize or even want to remember,
Well, and I don't know if you have found this because you've been through this a couple of times. It is the compound grief that really has shocked me, that's gotten me this time, because going through all of this heartache with my second marriage has stirred up and ripped off some wounds from my first marriage that I had healed.
Yeah.
And be gentle with yourself because you don't know. And it's okay if some of those old wounds get opened up. I honestly would say something would be wrong with you if it didn't, especially if you're going through it again. And my biggest pet peeve is I hate it when people will sit there and say, well, clearly, Holly, there's something you didn't learn in your first marriage, and so God had to give it to you again. And I'm just like,
well, maybe, and I learned it now.
did you really just say that? Because I can't help a liar face. Like, I can't help somebody blatantly lying to me about who they are. Had I had really known the person that I was getting into a marriage with, then I don't think I would have gone down that road. So be very careful of the advice that's given to other people, and just sometimes listening to women who have gone through stuff like what we have gone through. Listening is you need you to solve our problems. We're powerful women. We solve our own problems.
Right.
Just let us cry and talk it out.
Also, too, like I was saying earlier to the team, like, I only talk to certain people, and I only talk to certain people or ask advice from people that I respect. Yeah. You don't need to talk to everyone about everything. I'm not saying be silent, but if you do need support, make sure who you're getting support from is sound advice for the best of you. Because everyone has advice. It's just not always good advice.
Right. That is so key. You need to keep your circle small.
Because a lot of people like to see you not so happy and not living your best life. So just be careful who you're sharing with.
It is shocking at how many people are watching just so they can tear you down because they have things
their
inside
stuff going on.
Yes, I totally agree.
So now that you're out of that, and now that you're living your life and doing your thing, where are you going to go? What are we to expect from you now? What goals, dreams do you have now? We're in June 2026.
I am still trying to figure out who Holly Hess is and what there are some things in the back of my mind that I'm playing with that keep nagging at me. So I know that God is like, you need to be finishing this one up. You need to be getting that thing done. But honestly, I love photography. I love sitting there and getting women to feel comfortable in their own skin and to own themselves.
Yeah.
Like, I had so much fun. I'm like, okay, Candace, I'm going to ask you to like do certain things, but just bear with me and do it. And just, you were like, oh, okay. And the next thing I knew, you were totally in your skin. You owned it. We had so much fun. The photos were drop dead gorgeous. And I want to help empower women. I want to help empower them, not only in print, but I want to shake them, like literally, like person to person. Yeah. I want to talk with people. I want to help people know they're not alone.
Like, I support you. I got you. Like,
I got
it's
you.
It's very important, especially for females, to know that they're not alone.
Yes.
There is support.
Yes.
People do want to see you succeed.
Yes.
And you can be in your power. Like, this is the time to be in your power.
Absolutely.
To glow, to shine, for people to know you. It's important.
You're not too old. You're not too old. That has been probably one of the biggest falsehoods that I've been fighting in my own mind. Is I turned 50 in December, this last December. And I knew in that moment when I was getting ready to turn 50 that I did not want to live the second half of my life the way that I lived the first half of my life.
It's excellent clarity.
And then I was battling, but you're 50. You're 50, Holly. Like, what are you thinking? You're old. No, I'm not old. 50 is like the new 30, right?
100%. Also, if I'm still breathing, I'm still going. So
that's exactly right. And I want to see the world again, Candace. I want to experience it.
Different eyes now.
I want to travel the world. I want to empower women to show up. All you have to do is show up. Yeah. And why have we allowed the world to beat us into a corner that we can't show up?
Right.
No, you sit still and you be quiet.
You go in the back. Let that person have them go in the front.
I mean, even to the point which this goes a totally different direction too. But I went to my doctor. I went to my doctor and I'm like, this, and this. And they're like, you know what, Holly, your levels are fine. Your levels are fine. I'm third generation with this doctor. He delivered me. Your levels are fine. A friend of mine said, no, you need to go see a different kind of a doctor that's going to pay attention to your hormones. And you know what he told me? He's like, you are on the bare minimum to almost zero of all of these things. Do you know, allegedly, because I'm not a doctor, okay, and I'm trying to remember this from my conversation with him, but we need to produce more testosterone than estrogen to get us to our optimal health. And even he was saying that women are compared to as men. Like, even biologically, in the medical field. And so you take that from a medical standpoint, and then you take that from our place in the world and in society, and we're always shoved into this different mold of being quiet, and we're not important, and we're not this, and we're not that.
Yeah.
No, we
You have
need
to really
to start showing up.
make the decision
Yes.
to like get a second opinion.
You are your own advocate.
Yes,
We
yes.
are our own advocates. We need to advocate for ourselves. We need to start advocating louder for
I always
ourselves.
said I'm my own biggest fan.
Yeah.
Everyone else just follows, but no one else could follow me. I'm gonna always be my biggest fan, 1,000,000%.
It's so true. It's so true. So yeah, let's just start. I just want to show up, Candace. I feel like in my second marriage, out in public, I was Holly. I was Holly who everybody knew, who everybody wanted to talk to, who everybody wanted to grab, and I was being pulled like 50 million different directions. But then behind closed doors in private, I was told I was unimportant. I was stupid. I was this, I was that, to the point of where I really quieted myself. I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm done being quiet. I am looking for the ways to get back out there in the world and to help drag as many. I'm in my life. I look at it this way. I'm in my lifeboat raft.
Yeah.
And I'm looking around. I'm looking around
Who
for as
needs
many
me?
women.
Yes.
I just want to start pulling
Yes.
all these women into my life,
Yeah.
my life raft with me.
Well, I think that's, I like to look at the blessing of all of it because I don't, for myself, I cannot be in victim mode, right?
Yeah.
So I just can't be there. So I'm like, what's the lessons here? What did I learn from that? I'm actually glad I went through that. I know it sounds messed up, but I'm glad I went through that. I know what the signs are. I know what to look for now. I'm much smarter now. I'm much more savvy now. That helped sharpen my tools so much. So I'm glad that I went through that. It won't be happening again at all.
Yeah.
But I'm glad that I did it.
And I think I needed to go through it a second time in a different way for that very same purpose. And to go back to the whole, I met you in my Uber. I honestly believe that for the season in my life of doing Uber, Candace, you would be shocked at the women that I meet. And I know God sticks them in there. There's no coincidence for anything. And it's because of the experiences that my adult life and my childhood, like we could do a whole issue on
That's
my
a whole yeah,
childhood.
we can come back for that.
Yeah. But the things that I have learned and that God has opened my mind up to understanding and seeing to help. I've got girls and freaking 70-year-old women sometimes leaving my car in tears, crying in gratitude, just wanting to hug me. And I would love to do that on a more bigger scale.
I love that. We will have you back because there's so much more to talk about. But how can everyone find you? How can everyone follow you? How can everyone connect with you?
It's probably on my Instagram at the Halls Photos. So I should start opening that up and doing a heck of a lot more with it.
Yes, 1,000,000%. What do you specialize in?
I specialize in, now that I still do some Arabian horse photography, but I do specialize in real estate and drone photography and lifestyle photography for women. That is where I'm really
Passionate.
wanting. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Beautiful. We will have you back on. Thank you for taking the time being with us.
You're
Lovely
welcome.
conversation.
Thank you.
For sure. Please do follow her. Please do find her. Connect with her. She is amazing. Thank you, everyone, for listening and watching, and we will see you all again next week.